Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. I'm very glad to have you. My first video of 2025, of course, and I hope you all had a wonderful New Year's celebration. Today we're talking Skeleton Crew, and we're putting a lot into this video. I want to talk about the show as a whole, but also discuss the most recent episodes with a focus on 6. Disney, quite boldly I might add, thought it'd be a good idea to release episodes on New Year's and Christmas Eve, so let's get caught up. So the most recent episode is the third to last of season 1 and perhaps the series. It's Zero Friends Again. And this was the KB episode, and I gotta say, I really liked this. KB as a character has been really intriguing to me from the start. Even from episode 1, you can see that she's sort of the bridge between the girls group and the boys group. Or I suppose more accurately, she's the bridge between Fern and Wim. What I've been enjoying most about this series is the group dynamic of the kids and the sense of adventure. When Skeleton Crew was announced and as Ahsoka was released, my guess for the show was that Jude Law and the kids were basically out on a school trip when they were disrupted by the Eye of Sion's jump to hyperspace, which seemed to have incredible effects, at least in the local area. I'm glad that I'm not right and that this show basically stands on its own as an adventure within the Star Wars universe. Like, very realistically, you could have had this show be completely unrelated to Star Wars. You've got a group of kids on a planet, they find out there's a wider galaxy, get the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. You can probably imagine how it would fit, but the Star Wars universe not only draws fans, but also provides a wealth of designs to draw from, world building which already exists, lore and backstory. It's just great. I think the show's structure is a real benefit, and I'm reminded of the change between The Mandalorian season 1 to season 2. Both were great seasons in their own right, but especially as Mando season 2 progressed towards the end, the big draw became, okay, what's going to be the big reveal? Who is going to be the legacy character included? How will the show tie into the universe? I remember that quite well, whereas Mando season 1 didn't feel like that at all. It was the sense of adventure driving the show, and although I actually prefer season 2 to season 1, probably overall, the tone and the feel of the original Mando I think were really special, and it's what we're getting here with Skeleton Crew. The show feels like it's off the pages of a schlocky Star Wars novel, and I say that with all love, from the 1990s, which I would have read a million times, staying up late, hiding my flashlight from my parents. It is, I will say, fairly remarkable that this show can exist in the same world as The Acolyte, which could not be more different. But back to episode 6 specifically, I gotta admit, I'm a bit surprised the direction that Jod's character has went. I thought the group as a whole, including Jod as an obvious parental figure, were becoming more and more close as the season progressed. Now he's almost betrayed the kids. He certainly left them. He was willing to leave them on the planet as he tried to escape. He didn't seem concerned, but what I predict is that the pirates are essentially going to make him choose between them and the children. There's going to be an opportunity for him to take advantage of his relationship with the kids, maybe even in a way that would put them in mortal peril for a shot at that Republic mint. And it does feel like there's so much to wrap up for this season, because there's something going on At Aten. I've made the comparison to Fallout in the Vault system, and I think it fits. Everything from a shadowy figurehead at the top to other worlds developed in parallel. I don't know, and I've got to wonder whether this show was developed as a single season with the potential for more, whether it was originally envisioned as a multi-season series, or whether they really wrapped everything up in one season with, of course, the potential always to add on more if the show is successful. And that is sort of my next point. I know I'm rambling a little bit throughout this review and discussion, but has Skeleton Crew been successful? We don't know the metrics, but it doesn't feel like it. I hear very little buzz of Skeleton Crew. It doesn't routinely appear on any of the top streaming charts. I just think it's a real shame, because to me, this is the show that they should be focusing on. I think Star Wars would be smart to leave the big stories to films so they remain, big events, maybe with the occasional tie-in in shows, but then to tell different and diverse stories on the smaller screen. The Mandalorian, before it became clearly more entwined with the current narrative, I think was a really good example of that, a show which was essentially a Western, which just happened to be set in the Star Wars universe. This is essentially a coming-of-age Spielbergian Goonies Very different words there, but Goonies style story, again, in the universe. You could say the same of Andor, where it's a serious drama, it's not connected to the Skywalker saga, really, with the universe as the backdrop. I honestly think if they continue to develop shows like this on the streaming side, we'll be in a better state, and I think the franchise as a whole will be in a better state if streaming isn't the main thing carrying Star Wars forward, just an extra. And I don't know, I think a show like this is so great for that reason. I really hope it gets a season 2. I'd love to see more of these kids go on further adventures. I want to see what Jod gets up to next. He's just such a scumbag. Obviously, we're not over yet, but only got 2 episodes, which is crazy. Anyway, sort of finishing up, the special effects in this episode continue to be great. I don't know how they're getting so much out of this show's budget, but I'm constantly impressed. One detail I really liked was the Onyx Cinder's reveal. The Onyx Cinder obviously looked kind of like a junky ship, obviously a very capable one, but I'm guessing that was by design as the pirates patched it with extra armor, probably both for protection and to keep it somewhat low profile. Then beneath is this elegant Republic-era vessel, which remind me quite a bit actually of the Stinger Mantis from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. But the show is also really, I think, pulled from the Pirates of the Caribbean style aesthetic. It makes it feel very cozy in a way. The stakes aren't really that high. It's a series about adventure and finding things across the corners of the galaxy, not frequently visited by mild-mannered folk. Although, I guess both Episode 6 and Episode 5 have taken place in basically a resort planet. And the reaction overall, I think the fan reaction to these episodes has been surprisingly good, because I was definitely anticipating some of the criticisms regarding nothing going on to pop up, but in this case, the adventure really is the purpose of it. Episode 5, You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates, was definitely one of my favorite of the series. I thought the creature work was just phenomenal. The banking clan on a retreat at the planet was great. I've got a hot springs thing scheduled later for this month, and all I'm going to be thinking about is looking like one of those munes. But that's all I've got. Overall, super happy this show exists. I hope we get a second season. I hope we get more. If we don't, however, I'm going to appreciate what we do have. That's all I've got though, guys. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.